Who is David Edmondson, the marketing director at Bandai Namco? Well, he's, like his title implies, the marketing director at Bandai Namco. He was here at SDCC 2024 to talk with IGN about Dragon Ball. So they just went over the booth, they went over all the new reveals and everything like that. And, you know, there's Goma. He looks cool. But then they said something very interesting when they talked about Sparking Zero. Take a listen.
For October 11th, I know I am, because that is when Dragon Ball Sparking Zero comes out. David, this is one of my most anticipated games of the year. Tell us a little bit about
Absolutely. So it's an amazing game. Anything you ever dreamed of in Dragon Ball, you can make happen. If you decide you want Goku and Gohan to fight, Gohan's just tired of his old man and not caring about his mom, Chi-Chi. You want them to go toe-to-toe, you can do that. Anything you can imagine, we can happen. You know, you can cross over in different realms. You can have people from Dragon Ball fight people from Dragon Ball Super. You know, Jiren can fight Tao Pai Pai. You know, you can have anyone from the Red Ribbon Army fight against, I don't want to say Jiren again, but Vegeta. You know,
it's open season from all eras of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, so we had this playable for the first time earlier this month in Anime Expo. This is the second time it's been playable to a public, and the reception is amazing.
And he basically just talked about other things about Sparking Zero there. But that was the most interesting part, was whenever he said that it's basically all eras of Dragon Ball, the interviewer does, and then he says, yeah, you know, basically, and it sounds like he's kind of talking off the top of his head, so you got to give him a little bit of leeway that maybe he misspoke whenever he said Mercenary Tao, but you also have to remember this is that's right, marketing director, and when it comes to marketing these big high budget games, I'm pretty sure they go through some sort of training where they don't misspeak and they don't like say something that could get them in trouble, NDAs and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure he probably wouldn't specifically mention Mercenary Tao unless he saw that name on a list of characters. And then he also said specifically Dragon Ball Super, you know, so that's very interesting that he would also mention anybody from the Red Ribbon Army, talking about maybe General Blue in the game as well. We know Mercenary Tao and General Blue were originally in Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, so this could be further confirmation of that. And we do know in the previous gameplay that we got of the story mode, in one of those little screens on the story mode menu, you actually saw Kid Goku, or what appeared to be Kid Goku. Just as a reminder, I went ahead and grabbed the photo as a reference. As you can see here, this appears to be Kid Goku. So that's basically it. Dragon Ball GT content is probably confirmed with Sean Schemmel mentioning Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And we got Kid Goku, Mercenary Tao probably, well, I mean, he was mentioned by name, so he's probably going to be in the game. And then whenever he mentioned Red Ribbon Army characters, that's probably General Blue. I don't think Red Ribbon Army, I mean, it could also reference the androids, but it was probably also referencing General Blue. And we know Kid Goku is in. If you're going to have Kid Goku, you'll probably have like a little short story with Kid Goku. You'll probably have him fighting characters like Mercenary Tao. So that was one thing that I wanted to mention right off the top of the video. Now let's go ahead and get in the trailer. The trailer was very exciting because at the top of the trailer, they went ahead and just tell you Budokai Tenkaichi returns. So there are some people that still don't realize this is Budokai Tenkaichi 4. If you're one of those people, there you go. Now this trailer was very interesting because I remember as it was playing live, I was thinking to myself, are we just going to go through all the sagas of Dragon Ball Z? But they didn't. They just went through the Saiyan saga and the Frieza saga. That tells me that we're probably going to be getting more trailers over the next few months, going over the rest of DBZ, than maybe Dragon Ball Super. Now, I don't know how many arcs they'll separate Dragon Ball Super up into, but probably whenever it comes to DBZ, they'll probably separate it into 2 different sagas. So what I'm assuming is next month they'll probably have one more trailer for Dragon Ball Z, and then in the next couple of months they'll have probably 2 trailers for Dragon Ball Super. But we also have to remember, would they advertise OG Dragon Ball content in the trailers? Are they going to make a full trailer for OG Dragon Ball content? Are they going to make a full trailer for GT Dragon Ball content? Could they do a mixture of 2 in the trailer? That could be very interesting. Anyway, this was a surprising reveal, Kui, because I thought since we're adding so many characters, they'll probably have to cut some Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 characters. And it does seem like they have made some cuts based off what we've seen. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see Fasha in the game, or Grade 8 Bardock probably. But I do think it was interesting that they kept characters like Kui, who do have a relevance in the story. But I just thought if you're cutting characters for the sake of adding a bunch of characters and a bunch of content from Super, you would probably cut some of those minor battles like Kui or Nail versus Frieza. Again, I enjoyed the Nail versus Frieza fight. I understand Nail's purpose in the story. But if you're going to cut fights, it would probably be that one, right? And another thing would be Frieza in his full forms. So we actually got the Ginyu Force before we got to Frieza. And I do think it's interesting seeing the Ginyu Force all together again, playable in a fighting game. It's been a while since that's happened. We actually had fighters completely, I'm not going to say ruin the Ginyu Force, because I understand why they wanted to combine them with Captain Ginyu. It made sense for their moveset, but I really like just having all of them separately as different fights, you know, to properly represent the series. Then you have First Form Frieza. I love these animations too. Take a look at this animation. It's Frieza, small head Frieza. His body's getting bigger. And this is like swole First Form Frieza. This is an amazing animation. I think it's so simple but effective, because you can see like he's got the same armor, but it zooms on his head, zooms out. You can't even tell that they completely switched the model, but that's what they did. They just switched the model. So I like whenever they do things like that. So we're actually getting all the forms of Frieza. You saw that he easily killed Krillin there. Iconic reference here. And then the third form Frieza. We also get to see Final Form Frieza. And then, of course, we're going to see the Full Power Frieza. Now, it says fourth form there, probably because now, according to Dragon Ball Super, that's technically not his final form. So it's interesting that he's being called the fourth form there. Alright, is this where... Oh, wait, no, this is where Goku transforms. So, they didn't make, like, a big stink about this being the reveal of a new Goku variant, which is okay, because we've already seen early Goku Super Saiyan. I mean, mid-Goku Super Saiyan. But I do think they're just showing off, like, some new things. Like, for example, in other gameplay trailers, his hair was a little bit more golden, and a lot of people were complaining that it needs to be more poofy. If it's going to be mid-Goku Super Saiyan on Namek, it needs to be a little bit more poofy. And it looks like they did make it a little bit more poofy there. I'll talk more about that whenever we get into a couple posts from community members on X/Twitter. Anyway, the trailer's ramping down now here. And one thing I wanted to point out is that as it ramps down, we get a really cool shot of Goku right here. And this is going to be amazing. Look at that. Look how gorgeous this game is. Look how gorgeous this game is. And we actually see the updated roster. It's so nice to finally see a release date on that. Dang it. Right here. The updated roster. We still have quite a few character slots left. Probably some more reveals from the Buu Saga and the Cell Saga to get into. But are there enough reveals to fill that up? We'll probably get some more Dragon Ball Super characters. And I do think we are going to be getting OG and GT characters. Probably not as much as we would like, but probably some at the very least. Anyway, this was another thing I wanted to talk about, was in a magazine, one of the Jump magazines, I can't remember which one, there was a little shot of Vegeta here from the Saiyan Saga, and his armor was clipping through his arm. But according to Stock and Donut on Twitter, they actually posted a screenshot from the trailer, which shows there's no more clipping right there. So that's interesting. They're just going through and fixing it. That's just a reminder, hey, this is still in testing. And another thing I wanted to go over was this post by Erenora no Ayub, in which they go over some screenshots of mid-Goku, basically more of what I was talking about just a moment ago. You can see how his hair slowly gets more poofy and more shiny, and basically until it's like cotton candy, which is basically how it looks. And yeah, this was just, you know, the Kid Goku stuff I was talking about. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the trailer breakdown, as well as the mention of the San Diego Comic-Con interview. A lot of people were talking about the interview, but they didn't actually go over the video, so I just wanted to go over and just so you guys could hear for yourself what he was saying and make your own opinions. I mean, I could make my own opinions based off of it. I think I'm probably correct, but I can't say I'm 100% correct. I don't have like a specific source or anything. The source was him, the head of marketing. If he's saying Mercenary Tao's in the game, who am I to say no, you know? So that's why I have to assume it's probably true. Anyways, guys, that'll be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace off.